One morning, you're going to open your eyes and be hit with the terrifying realization that your life slipped through your fingers. And the worst part? It'll be too late to change anything, no resets, no retrees, just memories of wasted years, haunting regrets, and a worn-out version of yourself mourning all the time you let evaporate. But right now, this second, you still have a window, one slim opportunity to stop that fate from becoming your reality. If you ignore it, it'll vanish for good. So take this seriously, because everything hinges on the choice you make now. Here's a brutal truth few are willing to say out loud. Most men will never break free from average. They'll live out their entire existence bound by excuses, shackled to fear, addicted to comfort. They'll dream of greatness but never chase it. They'll watch other people rise while they sit in the shadows of failure. The question is, will you be one of them, or will you be the exception, the man who wakes up, digs deep, and refuses to settle? Let's be clear. There is no extra life, no redo. The men who pause to think, who hesitate when it's time to act, are always the ones who get left behind. So now you have to choose. Are you going to be the guy who changes his life, or the one who spends his life watching others change theirs? You've had time. Years, maybe. So what did you do with it? You scrolled. You consumed. You distracted yourself. You convinced yourself that tomorrow was enough, that starting next week was okay. Meanwhile, the world moved on. People built empires. Families were lifted out of poverty. Names were made. And you let time slip through your hands like sand, telling yourself, I'll get to it eventually. You could be wealthy right now. You could be strong, respected. You could have transformed your bloodline. But instead you gave in. You coasted through your days, giving the bare minimum, then laid down in bed each night as if mediocrity were acceptable. You went to sleep broke, financially, mentally, emotionally, and didn't even feel bad about it. This is what separates winners from the rest: grit. Most people don't lack potential. They lack the backbone to endure discomfort. They love the idea of success. They talk about their dreams. But when it's time to put in the hours, when it's time to grind, to give up comfort, to sweat and suffer, they fold. They flinch. They push it off to next week, to next month. And before they realize it, a decade has vanished and they're still stuck in the same spot, making the same tired excuses. Every person you admire, the entrepreneurs, the athletes, the leaders, they all started from the same place. Confused, broke, lost. But they reached a tipping point, a moment where they refused to keep living in neutral. They didn't wallow, they didn't point fingers, they didn't wait for external help. They stood up, faced themselves, and owned their situation. Are you ready to be that man? Or are you going to keep lying to yourself, telling stories about one day while life passes you by? Time doesn't care. It won't slow down for your feelings. If you don't step up and break the chain, nothing changes. Your children will bear the weight of your inaction. Your family will remain stuck in financial hardship. And you'll be the one to blame, not because you failed, but because you didn't try hard enough to succeed. Imagine your future. Years from now, you're older, worn down, still broke, still tired. Looking at your reflection, you'll finally understand that you had every opportunity to create something amazing, and you wasted it. That moment will be the heaviest burden you ever carry, and it's coming, unless you do something now. Every day you get two options: stay the same or evolve. You can rise or you can rot. There's no eat and between. So ask yourself, will you be the one in your family who finally flips the script? Or will you pass the same struggle, the same disappointment onto the next generation? Yes, this is hard, but that's the whole point. If it were easy, everyone would be successful. You think people get rich by accident? You think power, strength, discipline just land in your lap? No. They're earned through pain, through sacrifice, through doing the things no one else wants to do over and over again without applause. And now it's your turn. No more daydreaming, no more waiting for motivation to magically appear. Either you grab life by the throat or you get swallowed by it. This is your wake-up call, your warning, your line in the sand. So what are you going to do? Sit and hope or stand and fight? You decide. I had to earn every inch of progress with relentless effort. I had to outperform everyone around me, not by chance, not by shortcuts, but by out-hustling them in silence. I rose before the sun, stayed on task when it hurt, and pressed forward when others gave up. While people were distracted by shows, games, and comfort, I was laying bricks for something bigger. While they slept peacefully, I was building a future. Now I live on my terms, not because of luck, but because I made a decision and backed it up with action. This life of freedom, of abundance, of purpose, it could be yours too. You could be financially free, exploring the world, giving your family the life they deserve, but instead you're here, tired, stuck, and swimming in excuses. Why? Because you haven't committed, because you're avoiding the price that greatness demands. You don't need another feel-good message. You don't need someone to pat you on the back. What you need is self-control. What you need is to get uncomfortable and push through resistance. You need to stop letting time slip by and start turning ideas into action. This isn't about being inspired. This is about becoming dangerous to the life that's been holding you down. You need to take decisive, unrelenting action every single day until the life you once fantasized about becomes your reality. This moment, right here, right now, could be the turning point, but only if you stop playing small. No more pity, no more procrastination, no more distractions. Take control or let your name vanish into the void of forgotten men. Because the truth is hard, most men never break free. Most men die full of regret. They never leave mediocrity. They blame, delay, and drift through the years. They watch while others rise. They live in circles, repeating failure disguised as effort. Is that your story? Or will you finally be the one who shatters that cycle? Will you step up, reclaim what is yours, and fight back against the lie that this is all there is? There is no rewind button. You won't get another opportunity. The men who pause, who second guess, who look for perfect timing, they're the first to lose. Right now, you stand at a pivotal fork in your journey. One path leads forward, to power, freedom, transformation. The other keeps you where you are, small, stuck, forgotten. Which direction will you choose? Let me paint a picture for you. Two men, both born into struggle, same city, same hardships, both watched their families battle just to survive, both felt the fire inside them, whispering that they were made for something more. One man, we'll call him Marcus, woke up each day burdened by bitterness. He believed the odds were stacked against him. He convinced himself success was reserved for others. He filled his days with scrolling, envying, comparing. He barely got by at work and spent his nights numbing himself with video games and empty distractions. Anytime a chance came his way, he had a reason to ignore it. I'm too tired. It's not the right time. I'll start when I'm ready. Then there's the other man. Let's call him Eli. Eli faced the same storms. But instead of folding, he drew a line in the sand. He decided it ended with him, that the life he was born into would not be the life he died with. He got serious. He cut out the noise. He studied while others slept. He trained while others gave up. While Marcus stayed in bed, Eli was moving, reading, running, building, failing, learning over and over again. Every fall became fuel. Every mistake became a lesson. Fast forward a decade. Marcus is still stuck in neutral. Same job, same excuses, same unfulfilled potential. Every time he sees Eli's success, the cars, the confidence, the life he dreamed of, he tells himself he got lucky. But inside he knows. He knows that Eli earned it. He knows that the difference wasn't talent, it was choice, discipline, grit. And that brings us to you. Who are you becoming? Are you following Marcus's path, sinking into comfort, paralyzed by hesitation? Or will you walk Eli's path, burning bridges to the old life and chasing the version of you that's been buried under laziness and fear? You have the power to transform, but only if you act. You can keep whispering to yourself that someday things will change, or you can stop lying and start building. Enough pretending, enough delays. There's no perfect time, no savior coming. The only one who can flip the script is you. What will you say when the years have passed, when the mirror reflects a man wondering what could have been? Don't be the man with empty hands and a heart full of regret. Be the one who fought back, who didn't wait for conditions to be right, who created something incredible from nothing. This is your invitation, not to dream, but to do. Will you take it? If you refuse to evolve, nothing in your life will ever shift. That's the cold, brutal reality. The universe doesn't pause for your feelings. The clock doesn't stop ticking just because you're overwhelmed or broke. There's only one path forward. Fix your situation. No one's going to do it for you. Every second that slips through your fingers is a second you'll never retrieve. Every lazy habit, every moment of hesitation is like hammering a nail into the coffin of your wasted potential. And every excuse you cling to wraps another chain around your freedom, anchoring you deeper into a life of average outcomes and buried dreams. Here's the harsh truth. The majority of people will never break free. They will spend decades suffocating under silent frustration, waking up to alarms that jolt them into a life they dread, working jobs that steal their energy, returning home to a routine that leaves them numb. Most people die in the shadows, unseen, uncelebrated, forgotten, because they lacked the courage to demand more from themselves. But you don't have to follow that script. You can rise above. You can be the exception. You can be the person who breaks generational curses, who drags their entire bloodline out of survival mode, who wakes up a decade from now with a sense of pride instead of regret because you gave it everything you had. But none of that starts someday. It doesn't begin when it feels convenient. It starts right now. Not in a month, not after your next mental slump, not when life gives you a perfect opportunity. This moment right here is the dividing line. You must choose. Will you live like John, clinging to excuses, or will you lead like Adam, who fought back and built a legacy? Because whether you like it or not, the future is already approaching. And 10 years from now, you'll either be on top, thriving, or you'll be watching others from the sidelines, wishing you had done more when you still had time. Let's talk about something most people run from: regret. One day, maybe years down the line, or maybe when you're taking your final breath, you'll face a truth you can't escape. The clock will be empty, the chances will be gone, there won't be a next week or another shot. All that will remain are the decisions you made, or worse, the ones you avoided. Picture yourself in that moment, older, Here, staring into the mirror, haunted by the reality that you squandered your time. You had strength, you had youth, you had chances to build, to grow, to win, but you chose comfort, you chose fear, you chose delay, and now there's no turning back. You'll remember those nights you spent staring at your phone, wasting time in endless scrolling. You'll think about the hours you threw away gaming, binge watching, numbing yourself, while real contenders were out there making moves, building fortunes, and crafting a legacy. That realization will tear at your soul. It will crush you from the inside because you'll know the truth. You could have done more, but you didn't. And that's a pain no apology or excuse can soothe. There's no do-over for your 20s or your 30s. Those years vanish, you either use them or they use you. And here's what should scare you the most. This is the fate awaiting most people. A lifetime of just getting by. They'll spend years in dead-end jobs, always on the brink of financial disaster, watching the clock and wishing life felt different. They'll age into bitterness, irrelevant and unfulfilled. They'll be nameless in the sea of people who never mattered because they refused to do what was necessary. They won't be remembered. They'll be statistics. Another body that clocked in and clocked out until time ran out. But you still have a say. You still have the option to choose differently. Right now, you're standing at the intersection of destiny and decay. Down one path lies power, influence, generational wealth. Down the other, emptiness and invisibility. The only thing separating the two is your willingness to fight for yourself. You've got to stop feeding yourself lies. Stop promising you'll start tomorrow. That word, later, is the enemy. It's the biggest scam you'll ever believe. Later is how potential dies. Later becomes never, and suddenly your whole life's behind you. There are people out there right now, moving faster than you, hungrier than you, pushing harder while you hesitate. They're waking up early, studying, investing, building. They're not waiting for motivation. They're taking action while you scroll. While you debate whether or not to try, they're already stacking wins. They're claiming the future you say you want because they didn't wait. And what's holding you back? Fatigue, doubt, lack of funds? All of it is noise. None of it changes the fact that the world owes you nothing and no one is coming to save you. You are the author of your outcome. Your entire future rests on what you do next. If you choose to keep coasting, keep avoiding discomfort, you will pay for it with a life of mediocrity. You will hand over your potential for nothing but a temporary illusion of ease. But if you choose to wake up, to lock in, to grind until your vision becomes reality, then you won't just survive, you'll dominate, you'll rewrite your family's story, you'll create a life that others only dream about. But it starts with action, not talk, not hope. Action. Decide now, or risk watching your entire life slip through your fingers. Let me ask you this. When the dust settles and the years pass, will you be the man who took control, who stood tall when life tried to break him? Or will you be the one who stayed silent, stayed small, and watched others live the life he once dreamed about? There is no middle ground. There's no prize for almost trying. There's no trophy for the man who hesitated while others moved. Right now, someone else is working harder than you, staying more focused than you, claiming the rewards you keep imagining. And when you see them rise, when you see them living free, doing what you always said you would, you'll remember this very moment. You'll remember that you had a chance, and you let it slip through your fingers. You get one opportunity. One. And what you do with it will echo for the rest of your life. Here's something no one wants to admit. You're in a battle every single day, not with weapons or enemies you can see, but with the thoughts that tell you to quit, to delay, to wait. Most people lose this fight. They never even step onto the battlefield. The second they wake up, they surrender. Before their feet hit the ground, they've already lost the day. They give into comfort. They let fear whisper them back to sleep. That's why they're still stuck, still broke, still invisible. Not because life is unfair, but because they've let their mind convince them that they're powerless. You've trained yourself to fail. You've conditioned your brain to choose the easy way out. And while you're stuck in that cycle, other men are out there grinding with clarity and fire. They're building wealth. They're dominating their industry. They're improving their minds and bodies. They're not wondering what if, they're making it happen. And you're watching them from the sidelines thinking success is a matter of luck, when in truth it's a matter of choice. Power doesn't land in your lap. It isn't gifted, it's taken. Taken by those who want it more than comfort, more than distraction, more than sleep. Let me break it down for you. The average man wakes up and immediately falls behind. He hits snooze. He checks meaningless notifications. He scrolls through his phone for an hour, wasting the most powerful part of his day on nothing. Then he drags himself to a job that drains him, doing just enough to not get fired. Yet he comes home, eats whatever's easiest, and numbs himself with TV, games, or pointless distractions. That's a slow death. And the worst part? He thinks it's normal. He tells himself he's doing fine, that there's still time, that tomorrow he'll do better. But he won't, because he's caught in a loop, and he doesn't even see the walls closing in. Every single second that passes, you're either gaining ground or falling behind. Time is your most precious resource, and you're treating it like it's endless. It's not. You think you have more time to fix your life, to chase your goals, to fake you innately act? You don't. You're not owed a second chance. You're not guaranteed another try. And the world, it doesn't care about your pain. It doesn't care how tired you are, how unfair it feels, or what excuses you carry. Results are what matter. That's it. And if you're not producing, if you're not progressing, then make no mistake, you are losing. Period. Most men will never come to grips with that. They'll keep lying to themselves. They'll say, I'm working on it, while their life stays exactly the same. They'll believe their own excuses until the moment it's too late. Until they look around and realize it's over, that they lost. And then they'll see the men who refused to wait, who bet on themselves, who took massive action, living the life they thought was out of reach. They'll see those men thriving. And in that moment, they'll know the truth. They didn't lose because they weren't capable. They lost because they never started. So I'm asking you, really asking you, will you let that be your story? Or are you finally ready to step up and own your life? Because this moment right here is everything. It's the line between who you've been and who you could become. This is the war for your future. And if you don't fight now, if you don't cut off the excuses, break the cycle, and do the hard things, then you will wake up one day and regret everything. Deeply, painfully, permanently. Now I'm done speaking to that fragile version of you, the one that delays, complains, and fantasizes about change without ever earning it. That version of you has to die. Today, if you want a future worth living, you can't afford to carry that weak mindset another step. Understand what's really at stake here. It's not just your comfort, it's your future, your potential, your legacy. It's your children watching you. It's your name echoing into history or disappearing into nothing. So let me ask you something, and don't answer unless you mean it. How far are you willing to go? Are you prepared to eliminate anything that weakens your focus? Are you strong enough to say no to comfort, yes to pain, and wake up day after day with the mindset of a man at war? Because if the answer is no, if you're clinging to comfort or excuses, you've already surrendered. There's no middle lane, no safe zone. You either rise or you crumble. You either earn your place in history or you become one more nameless soul who passed through this world without making a dent. There's a moment that comes in every man's life, a breaking point, a crossroad, where he has to choose who he'll become. That moment is now, not tomorrow, not when it's more convenient. Right now, you have the strength, you have the fire, but none of that matters unless you move. Unless you wake up every day and treat your purpose like it's life or death, because it is. You can be the one who turns the page, who rewrites your story, who sets a new standard for everyone who comes after you. You can be the one who reshapes the future, who builds something so powerful and unforgettable that your name commands respect long after you're gone. But make no mistake, no one's coming to do it for you. No mentor, no savior, no second chance. This entire mission falls on your shoulders. You have to stand up, get locked in, focus with laser precision, and pursue what's yours with a ferocity that can't be shaken. Because if not you, then who? And if not now, when? So what's it going to be? Will you rise or will you rot? Will you fight or will you fade? Because only one of those men wins. The other, he watches from the sidelines as the life he dreamed of passes him by. Choose now, decide now, or lose forever. You really think this is just about cashing in, buying luxury cars, or showing off status symbols? It's so much deeper than that. This is about severing the toxic legacy of being average that's haunted your family for decades. This is about finally being the man who says, enough. The one who refuses to let his bloodline remain buried under the weight of mediocrity. You weren't put on this earth just to scrape by, to barely make rent, to live out your days buried in stress and routine. You were born to lead, to conquer, to take command of your reality and shape it into something that reflects your power and purpose. But right now, you're still acting like this is all a game. You're treating your potential like it can wait, like you've got forever. You don't. Every single tick of the clock is a lost chance. Someone out there is grinding harder than you right now. Someone's putting in more hours, more energy, more obsession into achieving the very goals you keep dreaming about but never acting on. While you stall, they're executing. While you scroll, they're leveling up. And the truth, they're going to take it all, the success, the wealth, the legacy that you could have had, and you'll be left wondering how it all passed you by. The universe isn't interested in your feelings. It doesn't care if you're having a rough day, if you're low on motivation, if things feel unfair. That's not how the game works. You either get it done or you get left behind. You either deliver or you disappear. Simple. If you're broke, it's not because you're unlucky, it's because you haven't taken your mission seriously. If you're out of shape, it's genetics. It's a lack of commitment. If your life sucks, it's not the world's fault. It's because you haven't made it your top priority to fix it. That's the ugly truth. And until you face that, nothing changes. You've been fed lies your whole life. They told you if you just stay consistent and work hard, success will naturally come. But they left out the rest of the equation. Hard work is just the price of entry. It's the bare minimum. Real success, the kind that leaves your name etched in history, requires domination. Not just effort, total, ruthless domination. You have to think faster, move sharper, hustle harder, and grind longer than anyone else around you. You have to want it so badly that quitting doesn't even register as an option. This isn't just about dreaming big, it's about being willing to suffer for those dreams, to bleed for them, to outlast everyone who stands in your way. And the battlefield isn't just your workplace or your gym, it's every single moment of your life. It's your choices. It's whether or not you skip the party, wake up before the sun, delete the distractions, cut the dead weight, and keep pushing forward when every part of you wants to slow down. That's what separates the legends from the forgotten